So this is a Nearpod for chapter 1. So in chapter 1, we saw present tense third person singular, right? Referring to verbs. And there's a lot of basic English terminology we have to get down before we can go forward. So first of all, let you know what a clause is. A clause is a group of words containing their own subject and verb. A sentence is an independent clause. That is, it can stand alone without being an incomplete sentence. Okay. So clause and sentences, they both have subjects and verbs. A sentence can stand by itself. A clause, if it's dependent, would not be able to stand by itself. Okay, a verb, that of course is the action word in the sentence. So for example, runs, sits, or just is, right? Expressing a state of being. Person refers to the person or pronoun doing the action of the verb. So the boy runs, the boy. He runs, he, right? The one doing the action, right? There are three persons. Each have singular and plural forms. So the first person is I, and if there's someone with you, that makes a we, right? Second person is you, singular or plural. And the third person is he, she, it, or they. And you can imagine counting out from yourself. So you start with yourself, I, or we, if someone else is with you. That's first. Okay, you, the persons or persons I'm facing. Should be person or persons I'm facing, right? We're right in front of you. That's second, right? Then he, she, it, or they, those people over there, the farthest from us, are third, right? First, second, third person. You should know the Latin verbs do not need pronouns. In English, you do. It wouldn't just say run, so it'd say she runs. Right? But in Latin, there's an ending attached to the verb that's going to indicate the pronoun or person doing the action. The T at the end of the verbs you're saying in this chapter tells you that the subject is he, she, or it. Right? One of those pronouns, or a particular he, she, or it, if a noun accompanies the verb as a subject. Thus, dormit means he, she, or it sleeps. Laborat means he, she, or it works. But then if I throw a noun on it, puer laborat, that now it's the boy works. No longer need to say he because now I have boy supplied. Puer means boy. So the boy works. You should know in Latin there's no necessary word order. The words could be in any order, the meaning will be the same, but it does have typical word orders, right? So it's not going to be that confusing. Verbs very often will come at the end of their clause. Every other word that is part of that verb's clause tend to come in front of the verb. Thus, canis and via dormit, the verb dormit comes at the end. So reading this left to right, I get the dog in the street sleeps. More naturally in English, we wouldn't put the verb last. We would say the dog sleeps in the street. Right? So the dog in the street sleeps. The dog sleeps in the street. Right? Subject first, verb last, everything else in between. Right? True less often with the verb est, but even with that verb, though, it does happen very often. Okay. So a clause is a group of words with its own subject and verb, of course, right? Blank person is I or we, that's first. Blank person is you, that's second. And third person would be he, she, it, or they. Okay. Right. There's three questions here at the end. So Latin follows strict rules of word order. Strict rules. Is that true or false? Latin verbs tend to come at the beginning of their clause. Is that true or false? He, she, it verbs end in T. Is that true or false? All right, that's a grammar for chapter 1.